Yo, this is Ace Banton in SAT building, baby. You're watching SAT Telecom, that's the #1 choice. Boom!
Whenever the iron play, I'll be there. Wherever the steel band play, I'll be there. Anytime it's carnival, yo, festival, bacchanal, behind the big truck, down the road, everybody, they know that I'll be there. Yo, this is Mr. Challenge, you're watching SAT TV, the people's choice.
Good evening, welcome to SAT TV News. I am Deslin Joseph, your presenter for the evening. Among the major developments, government wins election petition case. Turks and Caicos Premier ignored filing warnings. Delhi rape accused found dead in prison. And in sports, Sam Martin Point Michelle ends 2012-2013 DFA Line Premier Division campaign on a losing note. Details of these and other stories after the break.
SAT Telecoms. And I'm going to tutuni. Big up, one love.
It's only when we unite as one, then a lot more thing can be done. Stop this useless fight down, killing out your own brother man. Time we rise and all realize we have an enemy in disguise, standing right in the mix of you. Got to know who is who. This is Derek Peters and you're watching SAT TV. That's what I have, SAT TV. SAT TV, that's the way to go. Rah! To the world. Ooh diddy, ooh diddy, ooh diddy.
Welcome back. In observing International Women's Day on Friday, March 8th, the Bureau of Gender Affairs and the Whitey Kubuli National Trail Management Unit hosted a seminar on rural development enterprise for rural women. This was done under the topic, Dominican Women Rising Out of Violence and Economic Duress, Maximizing the Potential of the Whitey Kubuli National Trail. Coordinator of Research and Program Development of the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Ms. Gina Abraham says the Bureau saw it fit for this seminar as they continue to work industriously in equipping women with skills and opportunities to excel in today's world of many challenges.
Today's program, which is before you, was developed to keep your interest while providing you with opportunities, practical skills to embrace the many opportunities provided by the trail.
Miss Dominica 2013, Leslasa Amor Shillingford, who was also at the seminar, stated, even in 2013, a large majority of Dominican women are faced with poverty, abuse, ignorance, sickness, and many other forms of discrimination. She pointed out that the country's poverty assessment states that the literacy rate for women is lower than men, while women suffer more from chronic lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, heart attacks, cancer, and strokes, among others. Ms. Amor Shillingford also stated that a lower percentage of women are in our educational systems.
All of this creates a larger percentage of Dominican women who will be below the poverty line when compared to men. Mr. Lester Guy of Carriman stated yesterday that 7 out of 10 Dominican women or girls are abused. This means that more than 2/3 of our women are suffering. The abusers who do get fined pay a fee of $250 EC. Is that what we are worth? Our laws state that the consent age is 16, but we have teen mothers below that age. We have girls, young girls, exposing themselves. The mothers and fathers of these children cry for the age to be raised, hoping that this will protect their next child. Will it? Will our young girls realize the harm, or will they continue to throw themselves at older and happy men who are unaware of the tender age girls they hold?
Mr. Marshallford says more needs to be done as these issues result in a less productive country. Mr. Mishington Burton, Director of Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, says this seminar is an ideal way to empower our women, especially those disadvantaged, with knowledge to benefit from our forest, natural and cultural resources through the Whitey Kubuli National Trail.
For the Whitey Kubuli National Trail. The Whitey Kubuli National Trail, or WNT, a growing signature product in Dominica, has the potential to help transform the country's social and economic landscape through participation. Already, even at this infancy stage of operation, the WNT has been meeting some of the fundamental development objectives for establishing the WNT. The Whitey Kubuli National Trail, a growing signature product in Dominica, has expanded opportunities in the niche market in hiking and adventure, health and wellness, research and education, agritourism, heritage tourism, and increasingly more stayover tourists are visiting Dominica, simply because they have heard about the WNT and are eager to experience the WNT.
He says the trail has opened up new opportunities for rural women who are unemployed or underemployed and those who earn minimal income. Single mothers were also mentioned in that they must try all within their power to maximize on this opportunity. Ms. Rosie Brown, who is the Director of the Bureau of Gender Affairs, read a message on behalf of Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs. In that message, the minister stated the national gender policy approved by the government strongly supports such collaborations in their effort to mainstreaming gender in all government's policies, plans and programs.
The theme for International Women's Day, a promise is a promise. Time for action to end violence against women, speaks directly to the need to empower rural women, liberate themselves from violence through means which within their reach and initiative right within their communities. Women are without doubt the backbone of development in rural communities around Dominica, being involved in areas such as community development, environmental preservation, family building, as well as a number of activities which have serious economic generation potential.
She went on to urge the women not to be complacent, but to be go-getters while looking out for themselves and partners to liberate themselves from the bondage of violence, poverty, and all other negatives affecting women's development. In more news, supporters of the government had reason to celebrate on Monday, March 11, 2013. After a lengthy court battle questioning the lawfulness of Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and Education Minister Honorable Peter Sejar, the decision ended in favor of the government, leaving them as elective members of Parliament. Mr. Maynard Joseph and Mr. Ron Green, member of the UWP, had gone to the courts in an attempt to disqualify Mr. Skerrit and Mr. Sejar as members of Parliament on the grounds that they had breached an electoral code since they allegedly held French citizenship on nomination day ahead of the December 18, 2009 general election. In November 2012, Justices of the Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal, led by Chief Justice Janice Pereira, heard submissions from senior counsels Anthony Astephen and Douglas Menz following an appeal of Justice Gertrude Thom's ruling. After a week-long trial in January 2012, Justice Gertrude Thom ruled that Senator Ronald Green failed to establish a prima facie case against Mr. Sejar. She also ruled that Mr. Maynard Joseph failed to lead any evidence to show that Mr. Skerrit was by virtue of his own act under acknowledgement of allegiance, obedience, or adherence to a foreign power or state. The United Workers' Party appealed this ruling on the basis that there was sufficient evidence that the Prime Minister Skerrit and Minister Seja were holders of French passports which they had obtained as adults. Senior counsel Douglas Menz, who represented the UWP, argued that the trial judge was wrong in finding that there was no evidence in establishing their case. However, on Monday, March 11, 2013, justices of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court dismissed the election petition where the UWP contested Justice Jethel Thum's ruling. Based on the judgment, Roosevelt Skerrit is the duly elected MP of Vacas and is properly installed as Prime Minister, while Peter Seja is also duly elected as MP of La Plaine. In more news, Dominican athletes continue to make their country proud as 2 students from the Pierre Charles Secondary School were qualified for the Carifta Games. Julia Corriette and Shania Angol represented Dominica at the Carifta trials and performed tremendously well. Both students noted they are equipped and are convinced they will continue to represent Dominica to the best of their abilities.
I will be representing Dominica in the javelin under 17 girls. No, it's not my first time representing. I actually represented Dominica in the Carifta Games in Bermuda, and I am going to represent Dominica in Bahamas in the Carifta Games, and I'm going to win.
Ms. Angel added, this is not the first time she has represented Dominica. The preparations, procedures, and routines prior to the competition is not new to her. She informed SAT-TV News to ensure that she does win, she trains at least 6 days out of the week. However, this would not have been possible without the support of her family.
Well, my family pushes me a lot. They are very proud too. They are very excited. Well, I've been into this sport for 2 years now.
Mr. Corriette had this to say.
Well, I'll be representing Dominica in 800 and 1500 meters under 17 boys. Yes, sir, it's my first time. Well, I'm a bit excited. I know I'm going to win, so. I train 6 days a week. Well, my family support me, they care for me, they be there for me. Yeah. Well, I've been fully dedicated and committed to the sport since August, last year August.
Coach at the Pierre Charles Secondary School, Mr. Walson Paquette, believes that both athletes are progressing extremely well.
Based on how they came into the athletic program, which we have here, which is really structured towards athlete development, and the area in which that they stand now and their progress, I can say that they are moving along very nicely. We train 6 days a week from Monday to Saturday. Sundays is normally rest depending on the program.
SAT Telecom's management and staff wishes both athletes all the best. In more news, the Commonwealth of Nations is an organization of independent sovereign states spread over every continent and ocean, sharing ideas, experiences, and skills. The official ceremony was held at the Arak House of Culture on March 11, 2013, in commemoration of the observance of Commonwealth Day. Many students, government officials, the President of Dominica, and Mrs. Alex Boyd Knight all turned out in large numbers to pay respect to this day. Mrs. Alex Boyd Knight, Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly, stated that this year's theme is Opportunity Through Enterprise.
And this theme is telling us that in spite of the economic conditions that exist all over the world, there is much to be gained from grasping opportunities that may come our way. Not only must we look for these opportunities, but we must accept them and grasp them so that we, in turn, can do our bit for our country and for the Commonwealth at large.
Mr. Eliud Williams, His Excellency the President, read a message from Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. In a message, the Queen said, Opportunity through enterprise is a celebration of our achievements, particularly those that may have seemed challenging.
Great achievements in human history have a number of common characteristics, from climbing the highest mountain to winning a sporting competition, making a scientific breakthrough, building a successful business, or discovering unique artistic talent. These outcomes all begin as a simple goal or idea in one person's mind.
The message further expressed says, we are all born with the desire to learn, explore, and try new things.
We are all born with the desire to learn, to explore, to try new things. And each of us can think of occasions when we have been inspired to do something more efficiently or to assist others in achieving their full potential. Yet, it still takes courage to launch into the unknown. Ambition and curiosity open new avenues of opportunity.
He said great opportunities can be afforded by the Commonwealth if we join with others in union for the common good. 54 nations make up the Commonwealth, and today, Commonwealth Day, is celebrated every year throughout the world in various ways. Students from various secondary schools portrayed talents and skills to honor the observance of Commonwealth Day. In other news, on Monday, March 11th, the Princess Margaret Hospital held a neonatal training workshop jointly sponsored by the Ministry of Health, PAHO, and the Albert Einstein College of Medicine. In terms of how the idea originated, all three organizations recognized the need for further training, chiefly in neonatal resuscitation skills. PAHO has offered to provide us with technical assistance with our goals of increasing our neonatal survival in Dominica.
If our neonatal mortality rates are high, then automatically our infant mortality rates will also be high. And we live in an age of technology where the statistics for Dominica do not just remain in Dominica and at the Princess Margaret Hospital. They are on the web where everybody can see them, and having very high infant mortality rates and neonatal mortality rates does not speak well, it doesn't augur well for the health of a country, the health status of a country.
Ms. Augustine added that PAHO, along with the Ministry of Health, have been working feverishly towards improving the neonatal survival in Dominica.
I remember Dr. Betsy Boutron. She is no longer with us, but Dr. Boutron would be very happy to see that we have progress, and today we are going into the trainers program to ensure that our neonates survive. And I just want to wish you a very productive week, and I hope that at the end of this week we will leave here having been empowered, having the tools that are necessary to ensure that the neonates that we have can survive.
Dr. Rosen and Dr. Lambert are the program instructors. Dr. Rosen said she's extremely delighted to be invited to Dominica to host this workshop. She believes it is vital that members and doctors at the PMH are introduced to the resuscitation skills.
And we are thrilled to participate in this program. Dr. Lambert was trained with us, as she said, and since then we keep in close contact, and these negotiations or planning are going on since Dr. Lambert left United States. And she came up with the idea that that could be the helpful thing to do, to go for neonatal resuscitation program, which we are both instructor. As a matter of fact, Dr. Engert is our chair of this program, and I'm his co-chair. I applied for a grant that I would like to be very grateful and thankful to the Albert Einstein College of Medicine Global Health Center.
Dr. Rosen extends her heartfelt gratitude to the Albert Einstein College of Medicine for sponsoring her flight expenses. Without their donation, Dr. Rosen would not have had the opportunity to assist our doctors at the PMH.
and also purchase some equipment that we can live with you, that every trainer will be having a chance in the future, I hope, to train more people on the island. We will be glad, and we will keep close contact with our connection person, Dr. Lambert, and maybe with other people here, and we will be thrilled to come again if needed. And again, thank you for inviting us. And maybe, Rob, you want to say a word or two?
Sure.
On Dr. Lambert's behalf?
Thank you, Will. Dr. Lambert did indeed train with us, and you know, aside from being a superb clinician and just a brilliant fellow, she's also, I have to say, one of our, if not our favorite fellows. So we're just delighted to be here.
In more news, a number of primary and secondary school students island-wide will gather at the Ararak House of Culture on Tuesday, March 12, 2013 to celebrate 15 years of the National School Arts Festival. Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Chief Cultural Officer, said at the National Showcase of the Arts, students will be able to showcase their skill and talents from all aspects.
Tuesday the 12th of March with choirs and vocal solo performances, and we start at 10 o'clock in the morning with an opening ceremony. And on Wednesday the 13th of March we will have the choral speech and the instrumental groups from the schools. Thursday, which is the 14th of March, we will have 2 sets of theater. In the morning we start with the primary school's drama, and in the afternoon we will have the secondary school's drama. And on our final day, which is the 15th of March, Friday, we have the creative dance.
Mr. Lawrence also said that there will be an exhibit at the front of the Ararak House of Culture and the Old Mill Cultural Center. He's urging everyone to take time off from their busy schedule to support and enjoy the arts of the well-deserving students. Mr. Lawrence is of the view that the holistic education is quite important in the lives of our students. Having the festival every other year is not sufficient, and students who are interested in pursuing art should be involved in programs all year round.
The program they now have in the schools, which is the Visual and Performing Arts program, is really helping students now to recognize and appreciate and participate in performing and visual arts programs. In addition to that, we also have other training programs taking place throughout the year, and the Dominica Institute for the Arts is just one example, which we have at the Old Mill. We have 2 semesters, and we have a number of school children from various schools participating in that as well.
Mr. Lawrence encouraged the need for students to participate in cultural activities. He also encouraged the schools to have their own art clubs and after-school programs, which is supportive to promoting arts, culture, and history. When asked what type of incentives that the students will receive for their efforts, this is what Mr. Lawrence had to say.
Well, for now, what we do, we offer medals. We offer gold, silver, bronze medals, and also certificates. We also give special awards to schools that are taking part in all the categories, because you find maybe not all schools can do all categories, which is okay. But there are a few schools that take part in everything. So those schools will be receiving a special award from us. But the main awards are the gold medals, the silver medals, the bronze medals, and the certificates.
He stated the schools have been very receptive to the National Arts Festival, and the association is very encouraged by that. He said this year the participation and response has been great, and he's very hopeful for the future of arts and culture in Dominica. Although it is okay to view art as a hobby, Mr. Lawrence said it is his aim to get the students to see and recognize art as a career by taking it to another level, doing CXC subjects and further on to degrees in the arts. He highlighted a lot of opportunities for students who want to pursue arts.
What I would say is there are a number of artists, in fact, that are doing very, very well in terms of earning income. There are a number of professional singers, professional artists, professional craftspersons. a number of persons who've gone on to have careers in the culture department, in Ministry of Education, in the teaching area, people who have gone on to also work in firms like graphic arts firms, which is another area that's developing now, in music studios, in management, managing art centers in Dominica as well. There are lots of possibilities there for that.
In more news, Saturday, March 9, 2013, the beautiful ladies vying for Dominica's next supermodel all gathered to show Dominicans a fraction of their personality as they formally introduced themselves. The first contestant was Miss Golda James, an 18-year-old aspiring model from Point Michel, who says her dream is to participate in Millions Fashion Week.
I would like to be an ambassador to my country, that's for sure. I would like to participate in Milan's Fashion Week. That is one of my ultimate goals. And I would like to put Dominica on the market and show not only the Caribbean but the rest of the world that Dominica has talent just like everywhere else.
Francine Lavenier from Pichler, only 20 years of age, was filled with exuberance as she strutted towards the camera with the intention of giving Dominicans a fraction of what she has to offer on the night of the show. Miss Lavenier says her best attribute is her smile because it lights up the world of others. 20-year-old Carisha Breezy from the Petit Seaside village of Mero, an outspoken contestant, encouraged Dominicans to show support by attending the competition.
On May 3rd, you should expect creativity, fierceness, and beauty. I am fashionista, are you?
Miss Talia Celestine, an 18-year-old from the vibrant and loving village of Vacas, said her best characteristic is her walk.
My best attributes has to be my walk. Even on a normal basis, when I walk, people compliment me, and when I'm modeling, it's like everybody has to stop and just look at me because my walk is the best.
The other contestants participating in the show are Lena Bonti from Calibishi. 22-year-old Stavia Christopher from Pocasset. 23-year-old Rashima James from the exotic village of Portsmouth. 20-year-old Latoya Lagley from St. Joseph. Miss Vida Phillip from Goodwill, who is an aspiring model and fashion designer. Your Honor, my client is a painter and his last conviction was in the year 2000. He cooperated very well with the police and realized he made a mistake. These were the words of attorney Wayne Nod while pleading for a non-custodial sentence during mitigation at the Roseau Magistrates Court on Monday, March 11th for his client who was slapped with 2 serious offenses which he pleaded guilty to. According to the facts of the case read by Police Prosecutor Inspector Claude Weeks on Friday, March 8th at 9 a.m., police officers performed a search warrant on the home of 27-year-old Kenny Christopher John Baptist of Cork Street. During that search, a Glock 17 9mm semi-automatic pistol and 13 live rounds of 9mm ammunition was found. When questioned about whether he owns a license for the pistol and ammunition, Mr. John Baptist said he does not. In further questioning, he revealed that the gun came from Guadeloupe and he bought it from someone in Dominica. He was then cautioned and arrested. the prosecutor indicated to the court that there is no record of Mr. John Baptiste applying for a firearm license. Before handing down the sentence, Magistrate Evelina Baptiste stated she will treat Mr. John Baptiste as a first-time offender as his previous conviction was in the year 2000 where he was a minor. He was then fined $7,000 on the charge of possession of a firearm, which is to be paid by July 31, 2013, or sentenced to 1 year imprisonment. There was no separate penalty for the charge of possession of ammunition. In more court news, 2 defendants were almost set free in order to teach a lesson to the police prosecution, as Magistrate Evelina Baptiste stated she is dissatisfied with the police disregard for adherence to disclosure dates set by the court. Siblings Oswald and Virginia Julian were almost set free when they appeared at the Roseau Magistrates Court on Monday, March 11, 2013. The siblings are charged with conspiracy to import 165,710 grams of cannabis into Dominica, possession of cannabis, and possession with intent to supply. The cannabis was allegedly found at the home of Virginia Julian on July 11, 2012 in Lagor, Lubia. Their attorney Wayne Nord pointed out the prosecution has consistently been missing the disclosure dates set by the court and they should be punished. He also asked that the case be dismissed. However, Magistrate Baptiste stated because of the seriousness of the case, she will not take that decision, although she was tempted to do so, while stating the court has been bending over for the accommodation of the prosecution while they have been blatantly disregarding the dates for the disclosure set by the court. She added if disclosure is not made by the next court date, she will dismiss the case. The trial has been set for June 24, 2013. Bail conditions are to continue for the siblings, which were bailed in the sum of $225,000 on Monday, July 23, 2012. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.